Hey folks, this is Philipp with the Everyday Fighter podcast. Whenever I teach class and I'm teaching a particular technique, from time to time I get people off of the technique and I talk to them about not really learning the technique. Like I tell them, what we're trying to do here, at least for me in my class, I'm not trying to teach them the technique per se. What I'm trying to teach them is how to effectively move their body in the context that we're working in. Particularly, it's self-defense. And the technique is just one way that they're able to discover that, to learn how to move themselves, to learn balance, to learn how to effectively transition from one movement to the next. All of that can be learned through the technique. So here's the thing that I see a lot is that people collect techniques, right? They get this combo, that combo. They have different names for them. They're just collecting all of these things, and they say to themselves, or people will tell them, "Hey, you've got that down. You've got that technique down." And that might be the case, but it's not the same thing as understanding how your body works, understanding biomechanics, understanding, if you move a certain way that the technique itself might fall apart, right? And you won't be able to continue the way that you're used to doing it, especially if you're used to kind of drilling it and doing a combo just a specific way every single time. Yes, you can get it in that one scenario if you're, say, for example, with pad holding, if your partner is holding the mitts a specific way all the time, and you're moving towards them a specific way every single time, but that is just that only applies in that scenario. What if you add different types of movements to it? What if you change the environment? What if you're not doing it on a nice, clean mat? You're doing it out on the grass, on a hill. What if you're doing it and there are multiple people involved? Or if you are actually engaging with someone that is not holding pads, they're actually trying to do you harm. So the technique itself, if you're focusing only on doing it within a particular set of circumstances, it can easily fall apart if you change those circumstances. So that's why I try to stress to them, you'll learn through doing the technique, but ultimately what you're trying to do is get a better feel of your body and your capabilities, so that you can apply them to a variety of scenarios and circumstances. I like to use Sammo Hung as an example. Now, if you're not familiar with him, he actually went to school, the same acrobatics and dance school with Jackie Chan. So they were schoolmates. They also did many films together. And those two, along with one of their buddies, they were kind of like the three musketeers, if you will, of kung fu movies. But Sammo is different from Jackie in that he's a bigger dude. He has a lot more weight to him, a kind of a rounder guy. So he has those circumstances in terms of his body, but he can move himself just as well as Jackie can. Now, where does that come from? Does it come from great physical fitness? Absolutely, but you can see that, he's got more weight to him, so he's not the same, he's not as fit as Jackie Chan, but what he does have, same as Jackie has, is control over his body. He knows how to move his body. He knows how to throw his weight around. He knows how to balance himself and control that balance in a way that he can still do all of those different flips, all those fancy kicks, as well as Jackie can. So that's what I think about when I see people focusing solely on, just getting a specific technique down. Okay. It's not about the technique. It's about you learning more about your body. Now, this is something that could be applied to our everyday lives as well, right? And that, say, for example, if you're trying to be a better parent, say, for example, I have a challenge with raising my voice, with yelling at my kids. It's kind of a go-to sometimes. It's a pattern that, unfortunately, it's something that I learned that works, quite frankly. And it's not something, though, that I want to continue doing. So that is something that I'm working on. And one of the things about it that has helped me is that I'm not trying to not yell. The thing that helps me out much more so is that instead of focusing on the action, I think about, what am I really trying to do here? So if the action is not yelling, well, what is the better approach to it so that I can apply it in much greater scenarios and many different circumstances? And that is that I am a soft-spoken parent, meaning that instead of fighting to do this technique, which is not yell, instead I'm identifying myself as the type of parent that I would rather be. So that is a soft-spoken parent. That is a parent that has self-awareness. That is a parent that is patient, that is sensitive to my children's feelings and their wants and their needs, realizing that they are real people too. just like me. I have my own wants and needs and frustrations. They have the same thing going on, and I want to be the kind of parent that recognizes that and values that in them. Now, from that approach, it makes it much, much easier for me to do the different things that I need to do. And part of that is that I speak more softly, that I don't react as quickly as if I was just, if I wasn't cognizant of what I'm trying to do in the end, right? So I hope that's helpful, folks. That it'll help you not only on the mat but also outside, and going beyond just the to-do list, right? The thing that you're trying to accomplish in the moment. Think more of what are you trying to become overall as a person, as somebody that is looking to be good in their career, as someone that is looking to have a particular lifestyle that they live. Maybe it's in health. Maybe it's in how you contribute to others. Go beyond just what the action is and look at what you are trying to become in the process. That's it for today, folks. This is Philip with the Everyday Fighter Podcast. Talk to you next time.